It's July 24. Today is the, technically the week ended, but in my split, it's not over yet. I went to the gym earlier last week for back. It was a little shorter of a day before the pop-up back thickness, and so today is going to be that second back day. It is the back for width, theoretically. More like pulling down motions. And it's probably going to be longer because last time was so short. Right now, I'm just drinking this here Pepsi Zero Sugar. It's pretty good. When I finish this, I'll start taking my pre-workout and then go to the gym. Oh wow, this thing came in a little early. Look at this thing. Hopefully it came in one piece. I'm gonna open it later because right now we just gotta get ready for the gym and go do that. We'll take care of this bad boy later, but pretty exciting. Okay, I think I'm like somewhat in this thing. Anyways, so now we're gonna get everything ready for the, everything ready for back day. So this is the pull down back day, and like I said before, back is one of my main things that I'm trying to improve, so it's very important that I get the most out of my workout on back day, which means it's been almost 5.5 weeks now, and I've just been on a consistent deficit with 0 refeeds. I've just been in a pretty hardcore deficit, some days eating even a lot less just because of my mood. Like, you know, those things that you can't deal with. And yeah, so I just haven't refed at all. So yesterday is the first time that I actually felt extremely flat. Like, I was like, I'm flat, I can't hold a pump. It's crazy. So anyways, first of all, we're gonna do this pre-workout right here. So, where's the weight? Alright, so we're going to use half a serving of the Hostility, which is the stim product from the stim pre-workout of Hosstile Subs, which is going to be, not a half, I only use a third of a serving, so it's going to be 9 grams of this. And the reasoning for that is because I want a third of a serving is actually 100 milligrams of caffeine, which for me, that's fine. I don't really like taking over 100. So it's like a third of a serving of that, because we're also going to do half a serving of Bloodshot, the stim-free pump product total. So we've got like some of the stuff from the stim product, as well as the caffeine, and then we're going to add some more good stuff with the non-stim product. But this is, so half a serving of this is going to be 16 grams, and I'm going to do 8 here and 8 in my intra-workout. So the pre-workout, we'll just have a little bit of that running through the system, so 8 grams here, a little bit of that running through the system before we even get started, and then kind of to maintain that feeling throughout the workout, it's going to be in the intra-workout. So, hold on. What do I need? 16.7 or something? That's good. Okay. And then last but not least, you know, I like the tingles, the beta-alanine, so I'm going to put 3 grams of beta-alanine. That's going to be the pre-workout, and that one, I want it to be done a decent amount of time before I even get to the gym, because I want it to all be ready to go. Also, for those people who think it's very cool to like dry scoop into their mouth, that is not the way you do it, because, whoa, hold on. That is not the way you do it, because believe it or not, these things actually need water to run through your system very well. Like, think about how small your bloodstream is, your veins and everything, and then just putting a clump of freaking dust in there. Like, it's not going to work very well. So it actually needs water to let it transport through the body more effectively, so you get the most feeling out of it. Otherwise, it's kind of just sitting there. Drop one. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I'm going to be drinking this. This needs to be done early. And now we're going to get the intra-workout ready. So, the intra-workout... Ooh. This thing's still going? Nice. Okay, so, for the intra-workout, we are going to use just 20 grams of this CDX, the cluster dextrin recovery muscle growth. Basically a carb powder from Hosstile Subs. We're only going to use 20 grams, even though serving is 26.6, because I can function. Remember, right now we are cutting, so we're not trying to we can't just take a crap ton of carbs. You know, every carb counts, but I want to be able to feel a little bit. I want to be able to feel the pump on my back day, feel the muscle expand a little bit, which is very hard when there's no carbs in your system. And like I said, because back is important for me, I really want to feel it on the back day. You know what I'm saying? Like legs, my legs are good, and I can almost always feel it regardless, so it's not necessary on legs. Although I'll probably need some because I'll be dying. But on back day, it's like I really want to be able to connect and feel. So we're gonna need, dude, this thing, okay, there we go, 20 grams of carbs basically. And then we're gonna put the other half of our serving. The other half of the serving, 8 grams of the bloodshot into this intra-workout, so that way we can kind of keep the feeling going, keep it alive. I actually saw Samson Dowda doing that, so I just want to test it to see if it actually worked. And it actually feels pretty good. Like, you do feel that the effect is going. I don't know if that's just like in the head. And then also to help the pump and feel, we're just gonna put a little bit of pink salt in here. That's good. You know, no sodium, no pumps. There we go. And with that, our pre-workout, intra-workout supplements have been assembled. So right here, by the way, this is like the watermelon flavor bloodshot plus the watermelon flavor hostility. No ad. This tastes so good. It's like a watermelon starburst. It's like so juicy. I even had one of my friends who's like not a super workout enthusiast, you know, she just goes to the gym. I had her try this once and she was like, that's really good, you know, and she's vegan too, so you know it's gotta be pretty good. It's gotta be pretty good. Or maybe just because she's like so starved of being able to have good stuff because she has to eat vegan stuff, she thinks it tastes good. There's also that possibility. This is mighty unfortunate. I'm stuck. You think his battery's dead? Or... Might be a dead battery. Okay. Look, yesterday he was doing incantations and now he's paying for it.
Oh, the gains go straight to here. The battery, to drain the battery.
It took the witchcraft power, just drained it straight out the car. So yeah, basically I just took my pre-workout to watch this. Luckily it was just a battery issue. I have been released. I can leave now. Because if it was like a battery, yeah, I know how to deal with that. But if it's like an alternator or something, then it's like, all right, we're probably effed. So that's good. All right, let's head up. Let's head over to the gym. Pre-workout's definitely running its course already. So let's get out of here. Oh, I'm in parking brakes on. Okay, so back day today. The more width, more pull down focused back day. So we're gonna start with 3 different types of pull downs. We're gonna do, we're gonna do the reverse grip pull down, which I really like the feeling on like the middle of the lat. It feels freaking good. Like I feel wide when I do that one. Then we're gonna do wide grip lat pull down, like what we ended with last time, where it's like targeting the top of the lats, like into the, like when you hit the double bicep, like that top swoop, just to get that good. And then we're gonna do a teres pull down. So like we're gonna be leaning back on that one and really engaging the teres, kind of rear delts, that the traps as well for that. Then we'll probably do 2 horizontal rows, probably like a middle lat, and maybe 1 for the upper back as well, or maybe a lower back, maybe upper back, just because that's like a big thing for me, just to keep engaging it. And then I like to just finish off on this day with some shrugs, because we're not doing rack pulls or anything like that. And that will be it. So 6 exercises for the day, probably 2 sets of everything, straight sets. By the ways, one thing that I changed immediately upon entering this prep phase is there's no more intensity techniques. I used to do like drop sets or rest pauses and things like that. But there's no point in doing that when you're in a prep, because think about it, you're at a calorie deficit and it's just getting worse over time. Those techniques are in order to break down more and hopefully rebuild more so you gain more muscle, that kind of thing. But if you break yourself down that hard when you're at a deficit like this, you're not gaining anything anyways, and it's gonna be very hard for your body to recover. So like right off the bat, my theory was we're going to straight sets. We're just like trying to maintain everything, Like if something grows a bit, that's cool, but we're just trying to maintain everything as best as possible without getting too fatigued. And then I watched this podcast with John Jewett, who's like a very scientific lifter, pro as well. He just won a competition too. And he was saying the same stuff. So for me, it's like I always try these things that I think make sense, but then it's very nice whenever I see like somebody with a little bit more authority than me echo the same thoughts that I had. So that's really good. So I actually listen to this kind of music, like this kind of chill music, or just like not too many tones music I like to listen to when I train, just because I don't like to overstimulate. Like it's like kind of doing a lot, but it's like I really don't like to overstimulate my nervous system, like get too hyped or rely on these outside stimuluses to basically get in the zone. Like I want to be able to do that myself and not overtax my nervous system, because I feel like that is kind of the thing that leads you to just feel like where you're burned out. You just can't even, like, you don't feel anything anymore because you've been like overstimulated by these external sources. That's why I don't go too high in caffeine. I don't listen to crazy stuff anymore. Like sometimes I'll listen to some more hype stuff, you know, but not often. I like to be able to call upon my inner focus, you know, like it feels good. It feels good. Let me give you guys a little update on the stress/anxiety situation. Remember last week, before I did my week 5 check-in, right? I had a new low weigh-in, all-time new low weigh-in, and that's because I was feeling fine, right? And then after all this, like when the stress started piling up, and like I said, you know, there's definitely some cortisol release there, and that makes you hold water, etc., etc. When I weighed myself on the official check-in day, I was just randomly up like 1.5 pounds from that low weigh-in. Then after kind of just removing myself from the situation so I can be a little bit more stress-free, I haven't been thinking about these things as much, you know? The mind is more free, which is when I perform the best. Some people like that negative energy, their villain arc in the gym, not me. I like to be peace of mind, then I perform the best in the gym. I weighed myself this morning, and keep in mind, honestly, I was at a lower deficit when I was having that stress and anxiety because your appetite's shot. I had ate less on those days and I still weighed in higher. But I wasn't worried because it's just, I was like, all right, this is just like a lot of water retention, etc. And today, after being like 1.5, 2 days more stress-free and more free of mind, I weighed in 1 pound lower. So we dropped, you know? So that just goes to show, like, stress is a pretty crazy thing. It's very real, you know? Oh, it's looking crowded. I don't even look, the parking lot looks very full. Uh-oh, danger. Oh man, my lower back is like, my left lower back, which has always been tight, which I probably do need to roll out, is feeling extra tight right now. Jeez Louise. Also had to get like the furthest parking spot, unfortunately, but let's not make sure we don't forget anything. Make sure we got all, you know what I'm gonna say, make sure we got all that good stuff. Bring my belt. By the way, I don't even wear my belt all the time to use it for support. I just like to wear it just so I can feel my midsection like staying active. But I definitely need to tighten it because this belt is starting to lose effectiveness nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing, I guess. Okay, so this is exercise number 1, the reverse grip pull down. I actually didn't talk in between any of these because I got distracted. I'll explain later in the video. But yes, it's the reverse grip pull down. I'm using this to target just the middle overall lats, just get that width in general. Then moving on to the wide grip lat pull down. Like I said, this is going to target, for me, that very upper area of the lat going into that whole back double bicep pose, because I feel like I just needed more shape on that. And the third exercise is the teres pull down. So on the teres pull down, you'll see I'm leaning back a lot more. My elbows are out and I'm kind of activating across the upper back, the teres, which is near the rear delt, but it's not the rear delt. And then just across the upper back, and then even trying to drive the elbows back a little further
to really crunch that middle of the back, the rhomboids traps, the lower traps that I'm trying to work on, because that is a typical lagging point. But yeah, so these are the 3 different versions. Did 2 sets each, 2 working sets each. Some of them did a main set and a backup set, depending on how I felt.
Alright, 4th exercise. We're doing this cable row. Decided to do cable rows for the lower lat. It actually feels really good, like connecting very well with it. The first 3 exercises where I did the teres pull down, where I started with the wide grip, the reverse grip pull down, then I did the wide grip lat pull down, and then the teres pull down. I did not record the first 2 exercises because I ran into Brian at the gym and he gave me a thorough lecturing about diet. However, yeah, I don't know. I need to try what he was saying, but also it's like I like experimenting with what I'm doing, and so far it hasn't caused issues yet. So I don't know, man. You know, he just wants to. He doesn't want me to look like shit, basically. So I don't know. So we had like it was a long ass conversation, and I was just like, damn, I'm getting schooled right now. But so I didn't record the first 2 exercises, but I decided to show you what the grips and the pulls look like compared to the teres pull down. But now we're on the 4th exercise of 6.
So for exercise number 4, like I said, cable row for the lower lats, really trying to get back and down into my pocket area. I like to alternate between machines and cables from day to day on back days.
We are back on this hammer strength wide row for the upper back trap area, just because I feel like that's what I need a lot of. So we're getting it a second time, but this time we should be able to get a better view and see if we're actually doing it. Technique-wise, it did look pretty good. Like, I definitely feel it, but watching the video, my own. Hey, so got some long hair now. But watching back my own technique, it's good, because sometimes you think you're doing something even if you feel it, but it can still be a little better. And I just want to make sure it's up to what I want to do. It looked pretty good. I am definitely feeling the spot that I want to feel, that middle of the back, rhomboids, lower traps area. Alright, the last one we're going to do is these barbell shrugs. Normally I use dumbbells, but the dumbbell area is very crowded right now, so we're just going to do the barbell. 2 sets here, 15 reps each, and I'll probably do some abs after, because I don't feel too taxed today. Might as well hit some abs, otherwise I'm going to cramp every time I try to hit them. So let's do this right here.
And the last back exercise of the day is going to be the barbell shrug. So on my width day, where I'm not doing rack pulls, because rack pulls really activate that upper trap area anyways with the stabilization and just the weight bearing. On the pull down day, which is today, the width day, there's not much activation all the way up there, so I like to throw in some shrugs, whether that be barbell shrugs, dumbbell shrugs, or some gyms have that trap shrug machine, or like it all even says like a lunging machine, but whatever. Anyways, I'll use either or. Normally I do dumbbells, but like I said, it was just super crowded, so I didn't want to go over there on this day and just use the barbell. This is no problem. Ooh, and now last time I wasn't able to include this because I didn't have the magnetic tripod, but this time I can include the posing, actually get like a decent angle from behind where it's not just shadows. Rear relaxed right there, looking pretty wide in general. And remember, this is not even the high quality camera, so it doesn't look as sharp or as texture-ish as it would with even a better camera. So this is not bad at all. I'm not upset with this at all. This is the rear lat spread, pretty good. Had to change angle for the back double bicep because I want to see it straight from behind, because this is my most troubled pose just because it feels very strange. For me, I have to find out a way to where I don't pinch my back at all, because my lower traps will sink in if I do.
Alright, yeah, it is so much better with this magnetic tripod that I can just stick onto anywhere to record the back posing. Because last time, you couldn't even see anything, it was all shadows. This time, like, yeah, this camera's not great, but you kind of get the idea. Like, if I were using a good camera, it would look even better. It's kind of good, because if it looks pretty decent in this camera, it's even better in real life, because this camera is not very sharp, which is like excellent, you know? Because typically everyone's trying to make it like as sharp and textured as possible, which good cameras do that, but this bad camera does not do that. There's no, if you don't look good, you're not gonna look good. So that's kind of good. Anyways, now I'm doing some ab exercises. I actually had to do some warm-up sets. Like, I actually have to do warm-ups in acclimation sets on this because last time I tried straight into the exercise, but I'm like, oh, it's easy. I cramped so bad, I could not stand up. My lower abs were cramping so hard, so I'm making sure to properly warm up. Okay, so there are some, for me, key points of doing this exercise, which I will now explain. So when you see me doing it, you're gonna notice like I try not to move my hips at all. I try to keep my hips right where they started. That way I'm just using abs to pull down and flex. And then every time I go down for a rep, I push all the air because one of the functions of the abs is to push air out. So every time you go down, you go until all the air is out and you're full flexing. Also, that's what you're gonna have to do when you're on stage. So the thing that's the hardest to get is a lower ab. So I'm really trying to go full crunch all the way down until I feel it in my nether regions, just getting lower abs. Every time I go up, I'm making sure almost to even like arch my back up to really make sure you stretch the abs well. You gotta stretch, like just like every exercise, you stretch the muscle and then you squeeze it. So that's what we're doing. So do 2 sets of this, 15 reps a piece. We'll be done. Okay, we're done. We are finished. Let's go on a walk, shall we? There's a park outside here, and it's really nice. Like 1 lap will be perfect. I can talk about doing that. You know what I'm saying? What the heck? Oh my gosh. Someone's undergarment. No, just kidding. I don't know what that is. As I was leaving the gym, some girl was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah. She's like, are you a chef? I was like, yeah, I am. It's like, I think I saw you on Instagram or something, cooking some Asian food. That indeed was Asian food. That was pretty cool. It's nice when people like actually come up and talk to you, as opposed to, you know, like, cause they could be wondering, just thinking it, so just keep it in silence. Cause that is something I'm trying to build, you know, and I think I've done a pretty good job with social media and stuff like that, and it's very organic. It's not like forced stuff. It's just like all ads, you know. Look at this. It's freaking beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. Anyways, so, man, I had like other stuff I was going to talk about, but now I'm just thinking about the stuff Brian told me. Basically, what he was saying is just because the way I've been doing it, I guess I haven't talked about this in depth. Oh, look, by the water. The way I've been doing it is, check this out. So, like, you see this Fitbit right here? It tells you like the calories, right? This is the one that I used to get super cut before. I'm gonna put a clip on the screen. I'm gonna show you how lean I got using this method last time. The thing is, last time when I did this method, I didn't even push hard. I literally just stayed on like a 200 to 300, probably 300 calorie deficit using this just for a long time. And I got to that level. This time I've started pushing a lot harder. It's like 500 to 600, if not more, a little bit some days. Using, dude, this is freaking beautiful. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I've like pushed 500, 600, maybe a little bit more on some days using this method. And I've like, you know, the weight loss has been constant or consistent, steady so far, except for like when I got bloated because I was just stressed and couldn't do stuff properly. That's my fault, kind of. But yeah, he was saying like you really need to deplete yourself, like be in the depleted state. Because the thing is, with me, it's like, okay, I'm aiming for 500, 600 deficit. Because I sleep late, I sleep past the midnight mark, I will be able to see the total amount of calories I burned in that day. So then my last meal of the day, which is like right past midnight, I will use the calories and basically go up to the point where it's like 500, 600 under. Let's say I've eaten 1,500 calories on the day, right? That was like before training, after training. Then midnight hits and I look at my stats and it's like, you've burned 2,500 calories. Well, I've only eaten 1,500 and I'm trying to be at a 500, 600 deficit, which means I should end at 1,900 to 2,000, not 1,500. So I'll eat a little bit more to bring myself up to 1,900, 2,000. My reasoning for doing that is because I don't want to be too much in a deficit, or I feel like I'm gonna feel like shiz. Like I don't want my training to suffer that much, because my ultimate fear is, as a natural, you know, is to hold on to the muscle. And I'm like, okay, if I feel too much like shiz because I went so far in a deficit, my training is not going to be as good. Like I literally won't be able to lift the weight. And so I fear that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I fear that. So that's how I do it. So what he was suggesting is just let yourself sit in that fully depleted state and just go through that, because that's where the fat burning happens. You're not even depleting yourself because you keep putting a little bit back in. He has like a real coach and everything. I'm doing this myself, so it's like everything he says, I'm like, I really try to take it in and listen. Basically, he's saying don't limit yourself to 500, 600 deficit. If you are 1,000 under on a day, just let yourself be at 1,000 under the day and keep going. And just go train, feel the suck, and then when it's check-in time at the end of the week, that's when you refeed, that's when you go over. Because the thing is, I haven't gone over at all. I've just been constant 500, 600 deficit, sometimes even more, for 5.5 weeks almost now. It does make sense. I'm just in my head, I'm like, what's the difference really? You know, like, does it matter if you do it one way or another? He seems to think so. I have no clue, you know? When I started this thing, I wanted to do it as an experiment as well, to see if my way can work. You know what I mean? Because if I wasn't doing it my way, I would literally have just bulked, gotten fat, cut, and then tried to do the cut like you always hear. But I did main gaining. I'm doing this interesting deficit macro kind of thing. I want to be good, but I want to be able to run my experiment, if that makes sense. Now, if it gets close, like if we're 2 months out and I'm just not making any changes, then yeah, I'm going to change. But right now, it's like I want to see if this is doable. And so far, it hasn't caused any problems. And I'm feeling pretty decent, like the weight's dropping. And even when I look at myself, I can tell we're dropping weight a little bit. I get where he's coming from, because he wants me to show up basically and do it the right way. Check this out though, man. Check this out. Like, what? This is beautiful. Oh man, it's so nice. I better put my freaking this wrist. Look, this is a wrist thing. That's great, because I'm like, what if I drop it in the lake? So I'm kind of thinking about that. And like I said, I don't doubt that his way will work. I'm just wondering if my way will work too, and if it actually does make a difference for the end result. Because what if there's 2 ways to get to the end result? You know, I've never gone to the very end stage where you're just like dried and peeled out and everything. So might have to do that later. Anybody with experience or your thoughts, your opinions, please put them in the comment section down below, because this is something that I would really like to get some feedback on, you know, because I just want to hear different people's thoughts and opinions, experiences, what you think. I don't want to make this too long, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make it too long, so we'll continue with the thought of the day. This is the thought of the day. Brian brought this up, and now it's a thought of the day. So, and it's actually very pertinent to what I'm doing. We'll continue with the other thought of the day in the next ones, because I remember them. I'll write it down. And like, there's no way the other ones I just don't care about magically, because I do. So yeah, I don't want to make this too long. I know this is already half an hour, so. All right guys, wait, is this like a repeat? Yeah, we gotta go this way. All right, well, that's gonna end this one. See you in the next one.